Hello everyone, it's Isabella here and welcome back to the channel. So hi everyone, we're going to talk about a wfabb podcast. Okay, so here's the thing. First of all, I took a nap, I fell asleep. You may or may not be able to tell. I don't know, you probably can. I fell asleep and I woke up to a DM actually, and this DM was like, hey, somebody's podcast is live and you might want to check that out. And I was like, oh boy, do I. And so I looked. So if you guys don't know, wfabb, the iGenius individuals that we have talked about many times before, iGenius, the multi-level marketing company that is known for the crypto/investment world, a problem, okay? If you want to check out the company, learn about it more, I have so many different videos about iGenius if you just go check it out. We are going to be diving into iGenius, specifically wfabb girls, which is a extension, a team name, pretty much a bunch of people that wanted to label themselves as one thing and be kind of like a girl group essentially in the MLM world. There are different people who specifically have grown in this and they are actually creating podcasts. A new thing I've noticed is a lot of them are making podcasts, which I'm genuinely very confused on, because if they don't already have enough to deal with when it comes to the MLM space, they're doing a podcast and it's not like they're providing actual substantial things that could help people out. Anyways, whatever. So we're going to be reacting to one of them that is called How to Get Your Shit Together in 2023, and they talk about 5 ways to get your shit together. So 2 things I actually want to mention before we hop into this. One, I have new merch that looks like the Self-Love Club, and it's so cute, and it's literally so freaking adorable. So if you want to check that out, or any other adorable pieces that I have, like also my Petty with a Purpose collection that I live by, it's so freaking cute. And then additionally, I would also like to add, funny enough, this video is actually quite similar to a video that I have made where I talked about habits that I've actually taken into for 2023 that really will help your life and just improve it, and essentially realistic thing. If you guys want to listen to some good and healthy self-talk and good healthy podcasts, then I really recommend you checking out mine, because it's not shamey, it's not unrealistic, and it's a welcoming, healthy space for everyone to have conversations with. So now let's get into this damn video.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Talk Your Shit podcast.
This is your host Melody,
And this is your host Sabrina.
and now it's time to talk our shit.
Cheers to that, sis.
Why though?
Wasn't it so funny? I was in the flow state still. Okay, guys, so we're drinking Vino Verde today. Mucho grande, mucho bueno.
Really good.
Totally recommend. It's the Talk Your Shit wine. That was a good one. Long day. So, guys,
She's
on
tired.
today's
She's
I'm
tired.
I'm tired, but we out here.
Yeah.
So, guys, no, but we actually have a serious topic today.
Yeah, a good one.
And I'm excited for it because I think it was last week, or I don't know exactly when, but we went on our social media, both of our accounts, and we asked our audience what they wanted to, us to talk about on the podcast. And so they dropped a lot of things about personal development, how to become a better person. So, ask and you shall receive.
Yes.
Today we're going to be talking about how you can get your shit together in 2023.
I want to pause this and have a conversation about the self-help world and development world when it comes to MLMs. What the fuck? So the really toxic aspect that is involved with the MLM space, it's starting to develop a lot more than I think what it used to be. So when I started making content about this, I don't think I saw as heavy of an obsession with the self-development world as it is now, which is insane to me. It has progressed very quickly. But with that though, again, I would like to acknowledge there's good, there's bad self-help and development, self-love, that kind of stuff. There's good content, then there's bad content. There's good advice, and then there's bad advice. Like I actually talked about this entire topic and this industry in a video talking about how problematic some of the self-development industry can be. However, there's some good and truth to it. The problem is they fall into a really unhealthy perspective on it. So for example, they're very adamant about victim blaming, which is really toxic and unhealthy. There's a lot of shaming. There is a lot of internalized misogyny, for example, that's actually built into them. They are very believing in the alpha male energy bullshit and the alpha women, or masculine versus feminine energy, and like the way that they talk about it like makes no fucking sense. So just a heads up, this is what we're working with.
Okay.
That's a good one.
I'm going to let Melody start with the first one. Oh, basically, guys, what we did, we just kind of gathered like 5 points that we feel like
the main ones.
Yeah, there's so many things that we could have covered, and like let us know if you want a part 2, a part 3 to this video, because obviously or
if you have specific points that you want us to cover, because it's general how to, get your shit together in 2023.
Exactly.
It's general. If you have specific things you want us to talk about, just let us know, because we always love to hear from you guys. But now today we have 5 main points that we believe is like the main thing.
that's the type of podcast you're going to want to be taking some notes, my guy. You're going to want to take notes.
Grab your paper.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, be ready. Sit your ass down.
Yeah.
Sit your ass down and be ready to take some notes.
You were like sounding like a old lady.
I don't know,
the
guys.
80s.
When I'm tired, this is the version of me you get.
Yeah, and
okay.
she has like different accents too.
Yeah, I have it. Yeah. You're gonna get to know me on this podcast for sure.
There's different types of Sabrina. That's for sure.
So, Melanie, I'm gonna give you the honors. Cheers to that.
Cheers. And let's get our shit together.
Let's get our shit together.
Yes, let's do it
right now.
The first thing, okay, that we believe is like the main thing. If you don't do that, you're not gonna go far, okay?
Yeah.
So the first thing is to take responsibility. And that's a huge one because a lot of people, they think that they take responsibility. They believe that, I'm like, it's my life. I decide what I want to do, whatever. But you literally give the power over your life to people and to circumstances.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me explain. When I'm saying take responsibility, I want you to come to a point and realize that your life as it is right now and your circumstances in your life, your situation, your financial life, your relationships, your social life, everything in your life right now in all areas, it's your fault right now. It's because of you.
No. Okay, let's have a conversation about this. And I love doing this where we compare it to real life and then when we compare it to the MLM space because some things are correct in one, not correct in the other. Either way, I love getting into all of it. Okay, so when we're talking about how apparently everything is completely your fault since day one, no. And let's talk about this from a personal standpoint. Do you have control about the parents that you were born with? No. Did you have control over the school systems that you were born into? No. Did you have control over experienced poverty? No, you didn't have control about that. You didn't have enough money maybe to go to college and you wanted to. Not have access to certain privileges that other people or other kids maybe didn't. No. Maybe you were in a really unhealthy, toxic relationship and someone took advantage of you and was really horrible to you. And you maybe didn't see some of the red flags and you thought it was normal because maybe you didn't have a healthy example of what relationships are supposed to be. A lot of those things were not your fault in any way, and it is okay. You are not a bad person for acknowledging that those things were not your fault. You are not a bad person for feeling those emotions and being upset about that. That is totally okay. That's 100% valid. And now again, of course, we can acknowledge the fact that there's some things that are a responsibility. Like for example, we can turn some negative situations into better things. Or maybe we can, like for example, me, like again, this is just my personal experience. When I got out of a really horrible toxic relationship, for example, I sat back and I was like, okay, I am breaking everything about me down. I'm relearning things about myself. I'm actually figuring out what I like, what I don't like. Not everything is your fault or your responsibility. And I feel like that puts a very unhealthy weight and pressure. Now let's transfer that over to the MLM world. So that is something that they run with when it comes to the MLM space, is where everything is your fault. So for example, when you join an MLM, they're like, the only way that you can lose and not make money and just, not be successful is if you quit. When again, studies do not lie. Literally most people that join the MLM industry or join any MLM for that matter make nothing. So it's not about that, but they want the responsibility put on them. And in my opinion, it benefits the CEOs or the top leaders when you think that you are the one that is at fault, because it pretty much prevents you, in my opinion, from looking at the other outside circumstances that could be making you struggle or feel bad. And I feel like it adds to the cult mentality. And this is also something I feel like hurts people in the long run in the MLM space and in the real world space. You're teaching people literally blame themselves for every inch and thing. And I feel like that really negatively impacts your mental health in all sides, for example. But it's not acknowledging when someone does you wrong.
Everything that you have right now is because of you.
Yep.
And the thing is, most people, they're like, oh, right now, I'm lacking money, I'm in debt, or I don't like my relationships with my family, my friends, my
Hashtag victim.
Yeah. Let go of that.
Hashtag victim.
Let go of that victim mindset
right now.
Okay? Because when you give,
I don't know how they can sit here and say that they want to help people out with a podcast when they're being extremely shamey. Like, people feeling that they're in debt and feeling that emotional toll that it takes on you, that is, again, a different level of anxiety and stress. And it's kind of ironic to me, because either they've never grew up in that, so they don't understand that feeling, or they have, but they have been brainwashed by the MLM so bad to think that, like, this is normal. I just don't like how she's like, victim mentality. You need to get rid of that right now. It's not playing victim mentality when you acknowledge that you were a victim of something, for one. But two, it's not even victim mentality when you actually feel your emotions fully and realize that like what's happening to you or is happening to you is bad and wrong. Like not everything is rainbow and sunshine, okay? And just because you think everything is marvelous and perfect all the time and you've encouraged yourself to think everything is just wonderful, that doesn't mean it's wonderful. Like this is so dumb. Also, I'm not an individual that likes to like age shame people, for example, but I believe both of them are older than me. I think they're around like 24 or so. I have to acknowledge though that there's some life experiences I haven't had and I need to be well aware of that. You need to be realistic and not shaming and icky if you're going to try and help people in a podcast. Like you can't expect someone to listen to you when you're going to essentially make fun of somebody's situation in that way. Like that's not normal or healthy.
When you're like, oh no, it's not my fault, it's their fault. For example, you have, your what's the word? Like you're getting mad at somebody. For example, they did something and like you're just angry and you're like, oh no, it's not my fault, it's their fault because they did that and they did this and they did that. Well, you're putting the responsibility on somebody else. Yeah. So now you don't have control over your life anymore. Yeah. And so if you want to change something in your life, but you're putting the responsibility on others, well, you're a victim. Yeah. You have that poor me mindset. I can do nothing. I'm just a...
Oh, that's so gross because this is so transferable to the MLM. And I feel like this is how they run their MLM as well, where they're like, oh my God, if I even acknowledge that something's wrong, I'm being the victim mentality. I will never be successful if I'm like that. And I am losing control. If anything, you're taking control and acknowledging when things are right and wrong. Because I feel like if you consistently push yourself to always be so positive and not, not listen to the red flags, for example, red flag being like, oh my God, I'm paying out more money than I'm making, or wow, I'm not making any money in this MLM, or wow, my uplines and leaders are actually really, really manipulative and super mean to me. It completely disregards the critical thinking. It makes you think everything's fine. I'm being a bitch. I'm being sensitive, and that is so harmful. It literally makes you think everything is fine when it's not. What is it? There's a meme and I love it, where it's like a cartoon dog, and like everything is on fire near him, and I'm like, that's what this is. Like everything's fine. It's great. I'm good.
Victim. I don't have the control over my life, over my situation. I can do nothing to change it. It's just like that.
Yeah, and the truth is, guys, the life that you have today, and it sucks to say, but it's truly only a reflection of what you've been doing, what you've been thinking, what you've been saying, feeling in the last days.
Damn, no. We are completely ignoring that there are people that there could be person A that could be born into a ridiculously wealthy home. They have connections immediately. They don't have to worry about paying for college. They probably could get into college easier because of their parental connections. They probably can connect to internships, other things. I've met people that are loaded out of their ass that genuinely didn't understand or comprehend why I worked 2 jobs when I was in college. I remember meeting a girl, actually, funny enough, in college. It was in 2018 when I remember meeting her, and she genuinely was blown away that I didn't have like $1,000 in allowance money every week. She didn't have a concept or understanding about that. Oh, and she was like, why do you work 2 jobs? Well, I wasn't fucking born into money, Bethany. That is what that is. And again, there could be someone else who was born into poverty, didn't have access to maybe good food, good education, or maybe they couldn't get into the colleges that they wanted because, again, student loans, oh my God, they're so hard to pay off. They're absolutely horrible. There is a spider web of negative things that can impact you simply because you're poor, and it is very expensive to be poor. I would like to make that very clear. The amount of, and I'm going to start flashing it up here because I love educating people and bringing more awareness to this and helping people not feeling guilty for being upset that you're struggling financially, because like this is the reality that a lot of people live in, and a lot of times that's not your fault, and that's so heartbreaking to see. But many people, when it comes to the cost of living, finding a good job, having access to just basic needs, it is so hard. And part of me is just like, it doesn't give me the vibe that they understand struggle. And so her saying, well, everything that you've ever done in your life and all this is like, that's exactly why you're here right now. No, because again, put one kid in a rich home, put one kid in a poor home, you're going to see massive differences when it comes to how they're raised and the lives that they live from here on out. Statistically, you have a higher chance of having access to more money and everything because you were born in a rich household. Holy that's insane. And again, this transfers over to the MLM mindset where it is blaming you for acknowledging when something is wrong and saying the reason why you're not doing good in your business, the reason why you're not successful in life or in anything is because of your horrible mindset. And even the MLM that you joined, because that is the system as a whole, has simply failed you and you did everything you could.
Last week's, last month, and last year's, everything you are going through right now, even though when you're going through a hard time, because you allowed it.
Yeah.
You allowed it and you must take responsibility.
So you allowed all of the bad things to happen to you. Yeah. All right, you know what? We'll fuck. Hold up. All right. So you allowed for your health, your mental health to go to shit. You allowed for yourself to be poor. You allowed a pandemic to happen and fuck your life for the past couple years. Let's say you did allow certain things because you didn't know any better. There are things in life that shouldn't be happening to you, even if you're naive or not naive. So I hate this. This is so nasty. This is so gross. I cannot stand this type of shit. This is gross.
And realize that you're the creator of your life. Therefore, stop being that victim, because you have the power to completely change your reality every single day, because the life that you want, you manifested that.
But
You
it starts when you become aware that you're responsible for your life and you have control over your reality. It starts there. If you let other people have control over your life, you're never going to be able to get your shit together in 2023. Exactly. Okay, so that's the first thing. Take responsibility. Take ownership of your life. You're the main character.
Yeah.
You're the main one. So act as the main character of your life. And, so that's
Cheers
the first
to
one.
that. Okay, main character. I'm the main character still. Okay, me taste it.
It's really good. I love this one.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
We're talking about the wine.
We're talking about the wine, by the way. So number 2, to get your shit together in 23, clean up your circle. Clean up your circle right now.
Yes.
Let me tell you. Let's cheers to that. Let's cheers to that, because let me go off. Just give me a second.
She's gonna go off. I'm telling you.
I'm gonna go off. So you have to understand that you're the average of the 5 people you hang around with the most. If the people around you are broke, they're negative, they lack ambition, they lack discipline, they like, goal setting and being able to see themselves doing more, then guess what? You will be the 5th one. Whereas if you're around people that have a rich mindset, being rich is not...
I love when people apparently have no clue of actual struggle. And I actually, funny enough, literally talked about this exact point in a healthy way on my podcast episode that was talking about healthy habits to changing your life. And what I discussed though with this is I was talking about hey, getting away from people that make you feel really, really bad or hurt you or make you not feel like you're good enough, because that's a really big problem. I've had people in my life before that didn't make me feel good enough, and I noticed the negative impacts, and I feel like it impacted a lot of things. But the conversation about having to have friends that are wanting to do exactly what you want to do, wanting to have money like you do, wanting to do all these things so similarly, I think that's very, very weird to me and a little bit too excessive. Because, for example, again, I have friends of mine that we do not have identical goals for our future, no, but they're wonderful people. And I think that's really healthy to have healthy, wonderful people around you. You know what's so funny though too is this, I feel like, is also encouraged in the MLM space, because in the MLM space, for example, in iGenius, they talk about their circle and how, well, this is my good, healthy circle. And it's people that are pretty much on their team. And so it essentially is encouraging them to step away from any other friend who probably could have some critical thinking and be like, hey, this is not good for you. Because I don't think they like critical thinking. In the MLM space, especially with them, they're like, nope, if you are arguing against iGenius or any MLMs, you're negative, you're bad, this is why you're broke and miserable, and you don't have a rich mindset. And I need to stay with people who have that. Grow up!
The way, don't get it twisted. If the people around you have a rich mindset, have their shit together, at least are trying to get their shit together, it will have an impact on your life. Listen, guys, I wasn't always the Sabrina that you guys see me today. And the group of friends I have now, this is the group of friends I used to have, O-M to the G. Let me tell you, I used to be friends with people that would go out, that wanted to party, that like to do this, like to talk behind everybody's back, like to gossip, all of these things. So guess what? That's what we...
Sabrina, I'm going to talk my okay? There is nothing wrong with gossiping a little bit. Please be for real here. You can't tell me that you don't talk a little bit of shit. I know they do. I make content that talks about them. I know they have to bitch about that in some way. Come on now. I'm not stupid, all right? I love how she's describing her old friend group as people that went out and partied and gossiped, like every other regular friend group. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not personally someone, for example, again, I'm very similar in this way. I'm not someone that likes to, go out every weekend and get face. That's personally not my vibe. Full respect. I have friends though that like doing that, right? Here and there I'll go out with them and we find good happy mediums. They're not my friends because they really enjoy going out on weekends like that, and I personally like a night in. That's okay. It's good to have different people in your life that are not just identical to you. And what's so funny to me is she's talking about this and how having fun on the weekends and going off is bad. But apparently being a part of an MLM and having the friend circle that is strictly in your MLM is normal. I wouldn't take advice from this in any way. This is gross.
Would do, because that's those people were my friends. I was hanging out and giving them my time, and I'm not putting that on them because I allowed it to come to my reality. I allowed them to come into my life, and I allowed everything to just go with the flow, and I would go out and all that stuff. One day I realized, guys, and you know what for me helped me realize that is because when I started to have, sometimes people would judge me based on what my friends would do. And that's when I didn't like it. That's when I started to be like, yo, now I'm not feeling this no more because why am I getting a certain reputation? Because she did that, because he did that. I'm like, that has nothing to do with me.
But you were associating yourself.
But it's a reflection of you inside.
That is not inherently wrong with what she's saying. Like, if you have friends that are like doing like, I don't know, illegal shit and you don't want to be involved with that, okay, yeah, clear that out, right? If they're going to get you in trouble, if they're going to negatively impact your mental health, okay, yeah, you don't have to be involved with that. You can get really good, healthy friends. That's perfectly okay. But don't feel like you have to have friends because they're in an MLM that wants to make millions of dollars and live in Delulu land. Like, come on now.
I'm low key though. So, first of all, I'm such an impulsive person and I'm very all in or nothing type of gal. So when I realized that, I cut off everybody. When I tell you I went from having a group of 20, 30 friends to zero, like to 2, I'm not joking with you guys. Like, I'm not joking, and the ones that are included in this, they know who they are, and they know I'm right. Like, they know. Like, if they were to listen to this, no disrespect, though. I love them, and for a period in my life, they were there for a reason, for me to learn, for them to learn. I don't regret anything I did, but the best thing what I did was to clean up my circle. The best thing I did was to cut ties because they were not going where I'm going. Yeah. Listen, I'm not going to brag people with me to successes, whether you follow along or you get the fuck out. I'm sorry, I got to say it. Yeah. Like, it's time to be selfish with the people you spend your time with. It's time to be selfish with your time, with people that you allow to be close to your energy. Yeah. Energy is currency. I know what I have to bring to the table. I'm the goddamn table, okay? Yeah. I don't want to be around people that are not.
Okay, so somebody sent me this and I've been dying to use it because if you guys don't remember that one video that we reacted to where Jasmine, which is the top leader of this team, she was like, I'm the table, and the memes I am cosplaying furniture. Like, I know the point of the table, but it's so goofy, and especially with how they overuse it. I'm like, I'll be a table today.
Like mine did. No. I'm sorry.
And sometimes it's not even because they're bad people.
No,
not
really,
at all.
Not at all.
Because it's the same thing for me. But when I got started in my business, and I actually talked about that on my social media this week, the fact that I got rejected when I started my business, and my friends, whatever, they were not agreeing or liking what I was doing, right? And the thing is, when it happens and you're like, oh, I need to separate myself from these people.
That is the problem with these MLMs. She had friends that were like, oh, that's a problem. That's not good. And more than likely, because she said I had to separate myself from that, more than likely that was probably encouraged by the MLM, which is super duper toxic and alarming.
It sucks because they're your friends and like you love them and all that stuff. But sometimes you just got to realize that you're not going in the same direction. Yeah, and that's okay. But for me, I needed that separation for me to have success in my business because they were not serving me anymore. I wasn't at the same place in my life anymore, so I needed to separate myself from that group of people to elevate and have success
you must
in my
separate
business.
To elevate.
Exactly, separate to elevate. So I needed that. And so if you want to get your shit together in 2023, look at your circle and look at who's bringing you value. Yeah. Who's bringing value to your life and who's serving your purpose and your goals and who's helping you reach higher levels in your life.
Yeah, because you're just dragging people they don't want to be dragged, man.
No.
Because I've realized that if they wanted to, they would. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, and it does, like she said, there's people, listen, that you're spending 3 hours with that you should be spending 3 minutes with. And there's people you're spending 3 minutes with that you should be spending.
If you have friends that have nothing to do with your work, business, career, whatever that may be, you should still be spending a lot of time with them. And the value of, maybe I can't learn from them for business-wise, but I can literally enjoy positive conversation, have a really great mental health boost or that serotonin boost because I'm having a conversation with my friend. That's very, very valuable as well. So they're downplaying that, which I do not agree with in any way. Look at how they're talking about this, and they're very involved with an MLM. They're talking about, oh, there's some people I really should only be talking to for like maybe 3 minutes, and the other people I need to be talking to for 3 hours. They're weighing the value of a friendship on if they're going after a specific career or wanting to make a lot of money.
In 3 hours with. Mm-hmm. So you have to just be very intentional, especially we're talking about, do you want to get your shit together? Maybe you're not on the right podcast if you don't want to hear us talk about clean up your circle. But if you want me to be honest, clean up your goddamn circle. You're still friends with negative people. You're still friends with lazy ass people, but you want to go and become rich this year. It's not going to work, Karen. Like, you got to, I'm sorry, it's hard. It sucks, but it's needed. And you're going to be so grateful because I manifested the best group of friends. All my friends make a shit ton of money, have their own business, have their own apartment, own car. Like, that's the type of friends.
So you're basing how good of a friend is by how much money they have and if they have an apartment and a car? Huh? That is so sad because I can't even imagine hearing that as someone who is struggling financially and say, you're not good enough to me on this scale because you don't have a business or a car or making a lot of money. That right there should tell you everything you need to know about these people. Wow.
I want. Yeah. And guys, look at my circle now. Look at my circle now. We have the same circle, but look at my circle now. Yeah. You know, that's the best thing you're going to do because that would also like put you in places where you're able to allow new experiences in your life as well, you know?
Yeah, so, I agree, 100%.
That was number 2. I kind of went off, but I love that one.
Yeah, she's like, yes. So the third point is to focus on growing, okay? And what I mean by that, you know, when I got started in my business, I started to do a lot of personal development. I started to get into personal development, you know, working on myself and my mindset and all that stuff. And the thing that you realize when you start your personal development journey is that you don't know anything. And you realize as well that you have been programmed a certain way. And so when you know, go, you know, you just live your life and all that stuff, there's some things, you know, you have events happening in your life and there's some bad lucks that happen to you and like you react to the things that happen in your life in a certain way because you have been programmed. For example, if you're in a fight with somebody, you're gonna always put the fault on somebody else, or you're gonna always really get mad and react and be angry, and then after that you feel like shit, or like anything. I could give a million examples of like how you can react and how you've been programmed in a certain way, the way you think, right? Or are you, as we talked before, a victim when you're just doing your life, the way you feel when you're, you know, maybe you're, all the emotions that you could feel, okay? You've been programmed a certain way. And in order to really change your life, you got to change your mindset first. If you want to change your physical reality, you got to change what's happening in here first. Because what's happening in here first, well, it has an impact on your physical reality. Okay? Some people, most of people, they wait for their physical reality to be where they want it to be, to then feel good and be happy and live their life. But it's not.
I don't necessarily agree with everything she's saying here. So talking about how everything in your mind can really be a physical manifestation of what's going on in your real life. Again, it's going to be hard to be happy and go lucky when you're literally swimming in debt and you're struggling financially and you're working multiple jobs and you're exhausted. That is very, very hard to do. And again, there's nothing wrong with focusing on self-development and growth, but I think we also have to consider the fact of what type of self-development stuff are they consuming. Most of the time it is like Wake Up with wfabb, which is the MLM based podcast that they hold for the team and for other people. The trainings where they always have to be around the same people with the same perspectives. There's no outside conversations. It is just an echo chamber at this point, and it's just really unhealthy. So for them to talk about focusing on self-development and mindset, I get focusing on that to like heal yourself, feel better about things, but again, their self-development is MLM based stuff that is so unhealthy and a lot of victim blaming. Okay, that's victim blaming and victim shaming, honestly.
Like that. The reason why most people don't have the reality that they want is because they wait for the reality to be great, to be happy. You got to be happy first, and then you're going to attract your reality. So you got to work on becoming a better person. You got to do personal development. You got to work on your mindset. Focus on growing yourself, growing your person, the mindset that you have. That way, you're going to elevate your physical reality as well.
And it's because it's really about reprogramming your mind, because we've been conditioned a certain way, and to change that, guys, it takes a lot of work. But the truth is, the key here, you have to be intentional. You can't just say, I want to grow. You can't just say, I want a better mindset. No, you have to be intentional about why you want to grow yourself, why you want to grow your mindset, because you know it starts here. You can do and be anything you want. But it starts with...
Okay, so talking about being programmed to maybe function or act a certain way, that's not completely wrong. No, like for example, I've even talked a lot about how I've unlearned certain things because I realized that I was believing in some things or doing some things because someone else told me to. Let's be real here. Their self-development stuff picked up because they were being told that they needed to for the MLM space, not inherently because they wanted to do it just on their own. That's a personal journey.
What you have in here, because if you don't have that mindset, you're gonna quit. You're gonna quit straight up because listen, there has been time where our business...
See, okay, exactly. They're bouncing back to the MLM mindset mentality where they're like, you're gonna quit though if you don't have a good mindset. See, their mindset and development was for the purpose of the MLM. She just vocalized the fact that, oh, well, if you don't have a good mindset, then you'll quit. Brainwashing, babe. That's what that is.
This wasn't doing so great. The reason why we're still here and the reason why we make the money that we make today, because this is clear. My vision is set. And why? I'm not saying that to brag. I say that because every day, day in, day out, I listen to minimum 1, 2, 3 podcasts a day. We read books every day.
We have
everyday meditation. We have like a morning routine.
Okay, this is another thing I'd like to talk about and acknowledge is this is so old. Oh my God. The concept and it became aesthetically pleasing and trending on social media, so I get it. But the concept of you need to have a routine, you need to wake up and journal, you need to literally stare at the sun straight ahead and you're gonna feel its energy. Like goofy stuff, you don't need a routine every damn day. A lot of people can't always have specific routines. That doesn't mean you're successful or not successful. You don't need to listen to all these podcasts. You don't need to listen to multiple podcasts. Additionally, don't listen to them when they're only encouraging you to listen to podcasts when not everyone learns that way, right? Some people are more visual learners. Some people are more hands-on. Some people like to listen and that's how they learn. We are all very, very different and encouraging this and like you have to journal and manifest and meditate and then listen to podcasts. Not everyone has time for that. You don't need a routine. No, this is not going to change your life. You know what you should encourage people to do is look into maybe being nicer to themselves. You know what I mean? Maybe encourage people to listen to themselves and not feel bad for setting boundaries.
Like minimum 2 hours every day at least. And it's at least 2 hours. I focus on my personal development before I pour into others, before I go on social media, before I go talk to people. I pour into myself. I work on myself and I take time.
I like to tell you right now, as someone who took we're probably going to be hitting almost 2 years of unlearning stuff, healing from a horrible relationship, actually finding out who I am and becoming actually legitimately love myself and everything. I didn't have to do all that. No, I didn't listen to a ton of podcasts. I didn't sit there and journal all the time. I actually really didn't at all. So again, just saying, you probably don't need that stuff to change your life.
Person, that way I know that I'm gonna have a motherfucking good day.
Yeah, and some of you guys want to get your shit together. You want to change your life. You got to change yourself first.
Yeah.
The only way that your life will change is you change the way you look at life and you change the way you look at yourself. The truth is, you can do it, but some of you guys are still in denial and still doing the same old, waiting to get better results. The truth is, if you don't change, nothing changes. Yeah, and that's what it is. Right. But it starts all, honestly, with your mindset.
With your mindset.
It truly does.
Yeah.
So that was number 3.
Yeah.
That's a great one. We're doing great.
Yeah.
We're so good. Okay.
They're really great.
Number 4, you got to start investing. I'm going to tell you things. You got to...
Oh my God, please crawl out of Dogecoin's ass. It's so funny to me how they don't just say, hey, if you're financially able to, invest, they really miss that. They're like, you just need to do it. And they don't even give proper recommendations of what to invest in per se. They're just like, oh, we'll invest. You're fine. Isn't it ironic how they pitch their whole MLM with, oh, we teach you how to invest? Babe, that is not a way to change your life in 2023. A lot of people can't even afford to invest anyways. Give real substantial recommendations. But again, they're even their own advice for how to change your life in 2023. One, a lot of it's BS, but 2, most of it is connected to an MLM.
Because especially now, I'm not teaching you guys everything inflation through the roof. No, but for real, let's be real. When you go to the store and it's $9 to get strawberries, inflation is through the roof. No, but having one source of income is not enough. Then you complaining why you broke. That's why you broke. Yeah. You still just work a job. There's nothing wrong with a job. I used to work so many jobs. I probably work more jobs than you. There's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong is having just that. What's wrong is thinking you deserve just that. You deserve more, way more. But if you don't make the move, do you think it's going to come from the sky because God loves you more than everybody else? No. Mm-hmm. And the other thing, invest in yourself. Invest in your education. And when I talk about education, I'm not talking about university. I'm talking about go get programs. Go get courses.
Oh my God. Don't trust a university, but go buy the random course from Miss Jessie Lee, who will surely teach you everything no, don't do that either. I like to make this really clear. College is not for everyone, nor is it what everyone needs, and that is valid. That is very valid and okay. I have a degree, but I'm also self-aware enough to realize that not everyone wants that, needs that, or is going to be beneficial for them in their life. That is okay. There are trade schools. There's so much out there that you can do, but I think blatantly telling people just randomly go find a course or do that stuff, again, I've literally talked about how there's many courses out in the world across different industries, but there's many courses out there that are just BS made by a random person with no qualifications, etc., no real world experience. Again, many individuals like themselves even have talked about how they know what they're talking about, or have discussed how they know what they're talking about when it comes to investing and growing a business, and they don't even know the half of it. And so them saying, well, invest in yourself. Well, I agree, investing in yourself is really great if you have the financial capacity to do so. But just buying a random course or just randomly shooting your shot in the dark and just starting some random program, that is not always something that will work out for you.
Online courses, masterminds, boot camps, go to events, travel to places that are going to put you close to people that are going to help you elevate.
Yeah.
Like you really
travel to places to help you elevate. So some people can't afford to put gas in their car, yet you want them to go travel. Traveling to other places does not mean you'll be successful or elevate your life. Huh?
You gotta invest in your, like, guys, I'm my biggest investment. The more I invest into myself, the more money I make.
Because we talked about being, you know, cleaning up your circle, right?
Yeah.
But put yourself as well in environments where there's people that have what you want. Because you're going to get close to the fire. You're going to get close to people that have what you want. And when you're closer to that, you're going to attract.
I would just like to make this very clear. A lot of people who are very, very rich and wealthy or very successful right now, or even just, you know, pretty decently successful business owners even today, or successful people in general, a lot of them didn't need to join an MLM. A lot of them didn't buy courses or didn't travel around to make sure that they were around near people. A lot of people were just born that way. So we need to acknowledge that, and born into the money and everything. But a lot of the people that just started from the ground up didn't do all of those things. They honestly figured it out on their own and from trial and error. You don't need to do all those things to be successful.
The more I invest into myself, the more money I make.
Because we talked about being, you know, cleaning up your circle, right?
Yeah.
But put yourself as well in environments where there's people that have what you want. Because you're going to get close to the fire. You're going to get close to people that have what you want. And when you're closer to that, you're going to attract.
And saying that you have to be around and near all these people in order to attract a good life or success or be a successful individual, you can have success without doing all of these crazy things. This is setting people up to have these wild expectations and immense pressures on them that just don't need to be there.
That because you're going to vibrate at their level, you're going to learn from them, and that's how you're going to attract the reality that you want as well. So invest in yourself, as Sabrina said. Go to events, buy courses, you know, get mentorship from somebody that you're learning or whatever, and just get closer to them. That way you're going to learn what they're doing, and you're going to just get closer to what you want as well, because they have it.
It's so important, guys. Like, and I feel like, you know, and I'm happy that we could say that, and we're girls telling you guys about how to invest. Listen, guys, I was scared shitless before I started investing. Like, you guys don't understand. Do you want more wine?
Yep. Obviously.
I'm pouring it for the people listening to the podcast. This is us pouring some wine. Little break. We have a little break. Give us a second. We gotta re-pour the wine. Okay, so it's really important, guys, because the truth is that if you really want to live a blissful life, you just really have to be fit in all the areas of your life. And unfortunately, if you stress about how you're going to pay rent, if you stress about how you're going to pay for your car, you're not vibrating high. So you're not vibrating high, you're vibrating low, you're being a victim. So guess what? You're not growing yourself, then you're not growing yourself, you're not attracting the right people. It's like a negative circle. So that's why it's okay if you're not trying to become a billionaire, a trillionaire, and it's okay. But you still got to be comfortable. Don't lie. The only people that say that money doesn't bring you happiness or that it doesn't matter are people that don't have money. Because everybody that has money,
it doesn't buy happiness, but it buys freedom and options. And that gives you happiness.
And it's not just that, it allows you to not be stressed all the time.
When you're stressing, it's
like,
not you.
How am I going to pay for it? That's such a stressful state to be. And I get it. I've been there where I've stressed. And that's why I'm telling you, the best thing I did was starting to invest in myself and into assets.
And then you start attracting more stressful situations because you're stressing over.
You are attracting all these horrible things because you're stressed about the circumstances that you are in, and you can't. What is this? This is so illogical and so horrible. Like, what? Like, honestly, logically speaking, who is this truly going to help when it comes to the MLM space and in the real world space? In the MLM space, it's going to help the top leaders. Why? Because you believe in it. I am not a victim. I need to stop. Even though my life is really hard, I need to really be around these people and these people only. I'm not going to be around my regular friends. I'm going to be around the MLMer friends. Oh, well, I do need to drop a couple $100 on this course, even though it won't help me, even though in reality it wouldn't help them. Oh, I just need to because this random person on the internet told me that I need to do that. And then also, like, in the real world and life, like I talked about, this is going to hurt people with a lot of anxieties and stress. It's like, this is not going to change your life in 2023.
Just a negative magnet, basically.
So the only way you're going to really get your shit together in 2023 is if you start investing in yourself into assets, period.
Yeah, that was a good point.
That was
Cheers
a good point. Cheers to that.
So that was the fourth one. Now we have the last one, which is stop comparing yourself. Okay, now we talked about 4 different points to elevate your life in 2023. But you gotta understand that you have your own journey.
Yeah.
Okay,
we're
all on a different journey. Okay, yeah. We all want to elevate our lives in 2023. We all want to become the best version of ourselves. But you have your own rhythm.
Yeah.
Okay, you have your own path. And if you're looking around and you're looking at the right, left, and you're like, oh, but this person is going faster than me, and oh, she's already there, and I started before her, and then I'm like, she has that money and she has that car and she has that apartment and she has this and this and that. Well, you're just blocking yourself from your blessings and you're not focusing on the right things. Stop focusing on what others people have and start focusing on what you have right now and what you need to do to become the best version of yourself.
This actually is normal. Thank you for at least putting one point that's healthy and decent. Yeah, that's 100% true. Not focusing on other people's journey. But at the same time, though, I feel like it's hard to not focus on other people's journeys when there's a lot of pressure in the MLM space to focus on other people's journeys because you're not there yet. It's hard to not compare yourself to other people when majority of what these MLMers do is milk the hell out of this lifestyle or fake lifestyle at that, always showing it off and trying to encourage that that is the epitome of success. Can't exactly say, though, that you want people to not consider that and ignore that entirely when that is literally actually a big aspect of how you get people into your MLM.
It's not you against other people.
It's you against
every
you.
day.
Every day. Like the truth, the thing is too, like, guys, you can't compare your day 1 to somebody else's day 252. To somebody else's day 10,000, 3,000. What? You can't compare yourself to that. It's like somebody that starts in my business today. I have 2 years down. Of course I know more than you. I hope so. I've been doing it for 2 years. So don't compare yourself to others because that's honestly self-sabotage. Yeah. You're just sabotaging yourself, sabotaging your success. It's not serving you. It's not helping you elevate. And at the end of the day, everything happens for a reason, and everybody has their own journey for a reason. And if you're going through more than others, just know God or the universe, whatever you believe in, just gonna give the hardest battles to his strongest soldiers. Like, everybody has their own path for a reason. Yeah. So honestly, I get it. When I first started, I would sometimes think of comparing myself until I honestly realized we just don't come from the same place. No. We haven't had the same education. We maybe don't have the same means. You've been doing this for 5 years. I won't. You're 10 years older. Like, you just can't come. No. It's like you comparing a banana to an orange. Yeah. You just can't compare these things.
No. And the thing is, when you compare yourself to others, it's you're bringing yourself down and it's not making you feel good. But if you start comparing yourself to who you were before, for example, the thing is, now I'm looking at other people that have what I want and I get inspired, but that's another topic. We could do another another episode on that. But if you're looking at other people that have what you want and you're not getting inspired, but you're feeling down and you're feeling negative, start comparing yourself to who you were before. Because when I'm looking 2 years ago and I'm like, oh, the melody that I was 2 years ago and the melody that I am now, it's a whole different melody. Damn.
This is nice. This. I literally love this argument, actually, in this conversation about, like, self-improvement. This is good. This is healthy. Being like, oh my God, I'm so proud of myself. Look at how far I've come. This is the sane stuff. This is the normal things you should be talking about. Not, let's become crypto girl bosses and you're not a victim. Stop being sad when bad things are happening to you. Okay, so we're going to stop that there because I think that was enough for today's video. The only one positive thing that I thought was beneficial was literally saying, like, hey, don't compare your journey to other people's journeys. But again, please remember where this is coming from. I think it's really unhealthy and sad when they are very active members of MLMs and actively trying to get people into MLMs. And even their self-development or growth talk is just really not the healthiest, in my opinion. That was enough for today's video. Comment down below if you guys want me to react to more of this podcast because I would love to, because apparently they're coming up with more helpful tips. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!